Hello, everyone. Hey, hi, how y'all doing? Welcome in and welcome back to Book Talk from Sally Walks. I'm your host, Sally Walks, and if you're in here for the first time, welcome. And if you enjoy talking about books and you need a safe space to nerd out and talk about any kind of book that you would like, recommend any kind of book, I read them all. I take suggestions. My favorite genre is psychological thriller slash crime, but I'm willing to read anything, okay? If this is a space that you feel you would like to venture into further and start discussions, please like, subscribe, comment. Let's get a community of book lovers going. This is a safe space and no bullying will be tolerated once we get people in here, okay? All right. So without further ado, I would like to talk about A Woman's Worth by Miss Chick Brown. This is a series about the Stratford brothers, and it's book one in that series. Me personally, I am not a huge fan of romance books, but this one may make me a believer, okay? I'm planning to read the rest of them because I just really enjoyed it. And so I took notes so we don't get off track because cousins, I know how y'all like to get me off track because you know I love to talk. Anyway, I would like to start off at the beginning because the book talks about Gianne and how she's at the doctor's office. Gianne is sick. That's all I'm going to say about it. So the book takes place between Atlanta and Vegas. The Stratford brothers, they're the sons of this profound doctor, and their mother is a teacher, and all the brothers except for one, Mark, is a doctor. And the father is very proud of these brothers, but Mark is kind of like the black sheep because, like I said, everyone else is a doctor and Mark is not. So Mark sees Gianne at an event that is actually supposed to be held for his brother, and he flies in, he sees his mom, and they talk, and he sees his dad, and they talk, and they kind of get into a little scuff or whatever. Not a scuff as in like a fight, but like a disagreement rather. And Mark is like, I don't even want to sit with the family anymore, right? So Mark goes and he tries to find other people to sit with. He tries to find his table, and he sees Gianne. Now, he sees her and he thinks that she is fine. He talks about her lips and how he just wants to kiss them, and she's just coming out of her shell. The doctor actually invited her to this event because he's like, let's come out. You celebrating good news tonight, so just come and celebrate with my family. So when Mark sees her, they kind of strike up a conversation, and he's just like, yes, I really enjoy my talking to her, enjoy her company. So he invites her back to the house with his family because the family's like, yeah, let's have a little casual social ice cream event at home. And Gianne is like, sure, yes, I'm living life on the edge tonight. Let's go. So she goes with this man that she just met back to his parents' house, and she's like, oh my gosh, your dad is my doctor. And right away, we see that they both have kind of a mutual attraction, but Gianne is kind of more reserved about it, and Mark is like, yeah, I like her. Okay? So we love the fact that early on, we also see that Mark's family is a big one. Mark's family is a big family. There's a mama and there's a daddy. They're both successful. All of the siblings are successful, and we love that for them. We love characters like this because in other books, even books that I've read, and in most of the books that I've read, Black families are kind of broken, and most of the time the men in the books, they might be successful, they might have money, but they're not doctors and lawyers. They're more like drug dealers and crime lords. And I know that there's other books out there that represent Black men in a better way. I'm not saying that there's not. I'm just saying the normal books that I'm into. This is Book Talk by Sally Walks, so this is my perspective. All right, moving on. I think that this book is also a perfect way not only to start talking about Pride Month, but also to talk about Juneteenth because we're approaching upon that. And not only is love love and we celebrate that, but this is Black love. This is a story about how Black people came together, and it was not about how the Black woman had to struggle. This was not about how a Black man had to bring her down and how he cheated on her and all of these other things. This is a romance story about how this man saw this woman, he liked her, and said, I'm going to like on you and love on you in spite of anything else that you have going on. And I really felt like that was a breath of fresh air. It was very refreshing to see someone get loved on and not have to worry about, is he cheating on me? I really feel like in the essence of Juneteenth that this is Black excellence at its finest. And this is Black love at its highest peak. Okay. So, like I said, he is meeting with her immediately. She is timid and resistant. She is a true Southern belle, let me tell you. Because when I'd have seen that fine man and he'd have been liking on me, child, we'd have been married before he got home. Okay. Anyway, let me say Mark is the kind of delusion that I am too, okay? Because I am, let's hop off the porch, feet first, balls to the wall, and he was too. He was like, yes, he was plotting, okay? He was like, yep, let me see how I can get her to Vegas. Let me see how I can encroach upon making her mine. And I know this sounds obsessive, but I promise you Mark is not that kind of character. But I really do like how he was like, yes, I see her, I want her, and I'm going to get her. That is the whole gist of what I got from his character, and I love that. Because let me tell you, if a man wants you, if a person wants you, they will pursue you. Do not ever let it be said that they will not. That is a message for somebody. Anyway, going back to what Mark does, because this is kind of how he gets her. He's like, I'm a personal trainer. I specialize in helping people eat healthy, but I am a raw vegan. I don't eat anything cooked past a higher temperature. And this is how he kind of piques her interest, because he's like, I can help you stay healthy since you've been sick. I know right now you're not really sick, but I can help you stay that way. And she's like, oh yeah, that sounds good. I want to really take care of my body. So he's like, well, why don't you fly out to Vegas? And why don't you come and stay with me free of charge, this, that, and the other thing. And she's like, pump your brakes. I ain't saying I'm going to stay with you, but you can be my trainer. She's like, I have family there. So she decides that, yes, I will take you up on this offer and I'll move to Vegas until it's time for me to go back to school, because she is a school teacher. So she's like, okay, this is going well. I'm going to embark on this journey. And he's still trying to kind of get her, convince her like, ooh, this is a bad neighborhood that your people stay in. Like, for real, come stay with me. And she's like, no, it's cool. I'm going to stay with my family. I know them. So I want to talk about some of the other characters in the book just a little bit, because I think that Gianne's friend is very, very important, because her friend is like, yeah, you might need to take this slow, because you just met him. Mind you, she just met him at this party that she was invited to, where she really doesn't even know anyone. She doesn't know anyone on a personal level. This was her doctor. So she's like, I don't know this man, and you're going to go basically move out there for him to train you. What is his motives? Let me tell you how Stephanie is a great friend for that, because me as a friend, I'd have been like, listen, girl, keep your location on, but this fine man wants you to go out there for the free. Girl, live footloose and fancy free and come back and tell me what kind of a good time you had, okay? That's me as a friend. Y'all, don't be a friend like me. Be a friend like Stephanie in the book. Be weary of people, okay? Because not me. Me and my delusion would have had my friend out there. Like, girl, go ahead on. Does he got a brother? Anyway. So, as this thing goes on, she's really feeling him and enjoying her time with him. and they go out, and she finds out that Mark has secrets. And let me tell you how Gianne got on my nerves when she finds out Mark's secret. I'm not really going to tell y'all what his secret is because I really feel like it's good to the plot of the book. So it's very important to the plot of the book. But when she found out his secret, I feel like she overacted a little bit because, girl, hear the man out. Let him explain. You know, everything is not always what it seems. And maybe that's just the naivete in myself because I was born in the South and we were taught to give people the benefit of the doubt. I feel like she should have gave him the benefit of the doubt instead of jumping in on him and trying to cancel Christmas on him. But that's just me. Anyway, he continues to show her that he is down for her, and at every turn, she's rejecting him. So I understand that sometimes it is hard to know when someone really is for you and really likes you. And I feel like we've all been there as women. It is so hard to not fall into, does he really mean this? Or is he gonna play me? Because anybody who's ever been hurt know that you don't want to go through that type of hurt again. And I feel like there's a message right here too, because this man has constantly showed her that he is for her, but because she has been scorned by someone else, she is making this man pay for the mistakes that the last man made. And please, let's not be those type of people. Let's not be the type of person that makes somebody pay for the mistakes of the last person. When someone shows you who they are, believe them, whether that is good or bad. You take people for what they are and on face value. That's why I believe when their actions are bad, actions will speak for themselves. That's why you should have discernment and be able to know when you should give someone the benefit of the doubt and not. All right, that'll preach, but I'm not going to preach at you, okay? So, like I was saying, that is a good man, Savannah. So she just keep rejecting him. And I was like, well, I understand, I guess. But Jen, come on now. Quit harboring these feelings over this man. I don't know what more he could have done. He done gave her a car, gave her a place to live. And like I said, after we done, so y'all, let me tell you this. They hunt finally. Because you know I love some smut. And I know y'all do too because you're nasty. Anyway, so we love smut and they hunch. Y'all, I'm not going to go into graphic detail because that's, none of y'all's business, what their bedroom business was like. So she talks about how it was good, it was very intimate, and how his thing was thinging. And then she started being weird to him. Now, girl, you done give up the tail, and why you being weird? Anyway, I digress. Let me tell you how I would have been married to that man in the morning. By the time he woke up, my things would have been at the house and I would have been Mrs. Stratford. Okay? Anyway, I can't stress that enough because like I said, this is a good man. He has not shown any red flags. He has shown that he really likes her. He has taken initiative. He dates her. He courts her. And she is just like, holding up that stop sign. So, there's tension. So now we're to the part of the book. And I'm so sorry, y'all. This is a general, overall synopsis of the book. So things are not necessarily in order because I would hate to ruin a book for another author. So you guys, I want you to read it. So I would hate to ruin the book and the experience for you guys. So this ain't in order. This is just, again, my perspective. But I want to take the time to appreciate Gianne's character. Like I said, she's a real Southern belle. She comes off as sweet and proper. And I know I'm talking junk about it because she got on my nerves. But I really do appreciate how she's like a soft female. She's not loud, ghetto. She's not screaming and cussing and fussing. Even when she found out Mark's secret and she rejected him hard and walked off, she was not yelling at him or cursing at him. She was classy. She walked off. She stepped off. And I think that is refreshing, again, to have this kind of book when a lot of us kind of gravitate to a book that's a little more harsh. This shows us in a different light. This shows that you can have an array of characters. You can have characters from any spectrum. You can have boss babes, you can have good Southern belles. So I really appreciate that. I also appreciate the fact that this is, again, black love that doesn't show that you have to suffer or struggle. She doesn't even have to work if she doesn't want to. So he makes it abundantly clear that he's not looking for someone that's just going to be domesticated. He makes it abundantly clear that he's not looking for someone who's going to be cooking and cleaning. He's like, I have people to do that for me. You don't have to do anything. You can lounge by the pool if that's what you so choose. And so I really think that it's important to show that you deserve that. So there's a part of the book, and I really want to touch on this because this really touched me. There's a part of the book where Gianne is like, I don't deserve you. You deserve somebody better than me. You deserve someone who's not broken. You deserve someone who's not sick and who you can have a future with. And Mark's like, I deserve you. It doesn't matter if it's 4 days or if it's forever. And to me, that says so much. That really hit home with me because if someone loves you, it does not matter. If someone loves you, they will care for you. It's for better or for worse. They will wake up every morning and they will choose you. And I really appreciated that that was said because a lot of times when you're dating or you're looking to date, a lot of times you do get down and a lot of times you do feel as if you're not worthy. And when someone comes along and shows you that you are worthy, sometimes it is very, very difficult to accept that type of love. And I feel like that was demonstrated beautifully here. I feel like Gianne was so nervous and so anxious about having this man because she was hurt by her ex and because he left her at such a vulnerable time that she didn't want to go through that again. And Mark's like, yeah, don't worry about that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. He's like, all I want you to do is be healthy. All I want to do is help you to be healthy and help you maintain. And it was beautiful. Overall, I loved the book. If I had to rate it from a scale of 0 to 10, I would rate it an 8. Only because I'm not a huge romance fan. But I rated an 8 because I could really put myself in Gianne's shoes, or I could really feel the characters. They felt real to me. The fact that Mark had secrets, the fact that Gianne was anxious and she took her anger a lot of times out on Mark, all of that felt really real. I also feel like it was relatable because when you love someone and you're starting fresh, everything is not linear. Everything is not hunky-dory. Everything is not, oh yeah, let's do it. We're not always gung-ho for everything. Sometimes you do have trials and tribulations. Sometimes you have those moments where you're like, I don't know. Or you do get scared. So even though Mark's character was gung-ho and he was very certain and very sure about what he wanted, I think that the fact that Gianne was more reserved and more cautious says a lot. I also feel like I can appreciate the fact that this book was kind of slow and it was kind of everything, it was intimate in a way of everything around sex. So they hinted at what they wanted to do and they had sex, but it was not all about sex. So it's very romantic, it's very intimate. He loved her for her, not just her body, not just for what she could do for him, but he genuinely just was like, yes, this is the one. It was almost like love at first sight. So, you guys, overall, like I said, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I do plan to read the rest of the series simply because this one has piqued my interest so much. I would absolutely love for Miss Chick Brown to listen to my review, give me feedback, and maybe we can get a community going. I would also love that if I could purchase a book and she would sign it for me especially since this was the first one that I read and I really, really did like it. Um, so you guys follow her on all the socials, follow her on Kindle, Amazon, get her books. She I think I like it. I also read up on the series. I also saw which ones that people really did like. I saw other reviews. So I think that this is something that I'm going to talk to you guys about more. We're going to talk about these Stratford brothers because, baby, I'm going to see which one of them men I'm going to marry, okay? Um, with that being said, if again, I cannot iterate enough, follow me, Sally Walks, on all the socials. Follow my website, sallywalks.net. That's Sally Walks with a Z. Subscribe, like, comment, get in the comments, and read a book. We do so much scrolling and so much screen time. We do so many things. We should be reading. Read a book. Reading is fundamental. Reading keeps your brain sharp. Okay? As always, take care. Bye for now. Peace.